Well, good morning, everyone. This is Jennifer Sanchez. We are live. Today is going to be a spicy conversation. So hopefully, we'll see. It's going to be really interesting because these have been like the most trending topics, I think, on social media for the last couple of weeks. And I read someone not too long ago say, "What the heck is a STIMMY?" And for a second, I was like, "What is the STIMMY?" I didn't realize it was a stimulus check, and people were talking about it as a person. So anyway,
Yeah, I've seen those memes.
right? I was like, "Who's Stimmy?" So I'm Jennifer Sanchez. I'm your host this morning. You're watching the Wise Morning Coffee Chat Show, where we talk about all trending topics, but our goal is to fill your cup with inspiration, conversation, and motivation. And I'm the founder of the Women's Institute of Self Development Advocacy, where we just highlight bomb women from the community and show them off, and have women just talk about what they do and share their opinions on what's going on in society. So that's who I am. Angel, take it away.
Good morning. My name is Angelica Ramirez. I normally go by Angel. I am a mom of two, a soon to be 20-year-old college dorming student, and a 15-year-old funky sports loving boy. I am a commercial property manager by day, and I have developed or started this side hustle that's becoming something more than I could ever imagine. It's called Pies of Amor, where I sell cream pies, Boston cream pies, banana cream pies, French silk pies, just pies. So I'm just really excited to be here. I'm also a WISE mentor and a graduate of the WISE coaching program, cohort 3, which was awesome, amazing. Kind of set me up to help me get out of my comfort zone and be part of this, which I'm still struggling with, but I'm trying to do my best at. So I'm just very excited to be here, and thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You've been doing great. No worries. And then, of course, we have our guest, Nara Diaz.
Hello, ladies. My name is Nara Diaz, like Jennifer said. I am also a cohort 3 um, participant, like Angel said. So I'm part of the alumni of the WISE group. I'm also part of the membership group as well. And I highly recommend it. It's really great. Actually, that's where I connected a lot with Angel. So I think Angel and I were going to the Wise Mastermind meetings when we all still got in person, relatively maybe within a couple months of each other for the same time, but we really didn't connect until we were buddies in the coaching program, on another level. So that was really fun. I connected with a lot of the ladies actually in that program. It was a great program. And then I am also a tax consultant with MRV Financial right now. And I am a wife and I am a new mom.
Yay! How old's your baby?
12 weeks on Wednesday.
Oh, wow. They're so little. They smell so good right now, too. You just
Yeah.
smell the life out of them.
Yeah, really.
Congratulations. So we have ladies chiming in. So let me just show the names. We have Maricel. Good morning, ladies. We have Mary. Good morning, ladies. We have Ruby. Good morning. And we have Kim. Good morning, beautiful ladies. So awesome. So, of course, we got to go
Can
to
I,
our favorite. Go
can I
for it.
give a shout out to Kim? Like, Kim's
Yeah.
room came and cleaned my house.
Yes.
Crystal Clear Cleaning did an amazing job on my house, and I just want to say thank you. And if you're looking for someone, right there, Kim Montesinos. She's your girl.
Nice. Kim, you got your shout out. Good
Yeah.
morning. So yeah, check
She
out
cleaned my
Kim.
houses too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Kim is
It's
our
good.
our
It's good.
go-to cleaning company that we take advantage of. So take advantage of her, and she's also cohort 1 graduate. So she's really immersed in our community. So awesome. And we have Maria. Buenos dias. So
Buenos
buenos
dias.
dias. So you know the Angel, you know the topic that we discuss, and we talk with all the ladies.
Coffee time. Okay, so today I felt like I really needed a coffee, so I got the big boy. Like it's it's just what do I have? I have a cinnamon K cup, and then I need some sweetness today. So I have a cinnamon vanilla cream coffee mate. I love this stuff. Like it's so
Mm.
addictive. Like if you want sweet in your coffee, right there.
Oh, can you make a tiramisu cake? That'd be interesting. Just to throw that out there. That's a coffee cake, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Nice. Well, that sounds yummy. What are you drinking, Nara?
I actually have a Premier Protein caramel shake, and then I add a cold brew to it.
Yum,
So
yum. Oh,
protein coffee.
protein coffee. Yeah, I've been sometimes when I'm so lazy and I just want to do both, I throw both together. Like, forget this. Let me just throw my protein with my black coffee. It's actually really good. So everyone that's watching, share what you're drinking this morning. But you know what I read over the weekend that kind of bummed me, and I'm gonna be real bummed about sharing this on the air, but I was reading that when you drink coffee, you shouldn't drink it right when you wake up in the morning. And I was like, no, that's like the best time to drink coffee, right? Because it's like, I feel like a Folgers commercial. Like, you remember Folgers? Like,
You're just all barely waking up, grabbing your cup
yeah,
of
it's
coffee.
yeah, it's like Folgers in your cup, like the
Mhm.
whole song and everything. And you see the lady like smelling the coffee, looking out the window. So tell me why I read it said your cortisol, someone correct me on how I'm saying it, is high in the morning when you wake up. So that's the hormone that makes you keep the fat around your stomach, right? And so when it's spiked up high when you wake up, you shouldn't drink coffee because right when you wake up, because it keeps it high longer.
I don't even know
So
what that is, to be honest. So that's
that
not something you want high then.
yeah, you don't want high because it
Yeah.
keeps so that's the hormone that makes you get the fat. Cortisol makes the
Oh,
fat around your stomach. So you know how some people have
oh.
fat, like some people gain weight on their butt, their hips, like it's nicely spread like in great places. And some people have fat like in their stomach. So
Mm,
that's one of the areas that I struggle with. I think I'm more of that
me.
person. Yeah.
Mhm.
So our level of stress is higher, that hormone's higher. So when we drink coffee, it's higher. I need to do more research on this because I was pretty
Uh,
bummed about this. So
Interesting.
Yeah.
just a fun fact I learned. So we have some ladies sharing Bustelo is what I needed this morning, extra strong. Nice. Oh, we have Kim. She said, "We love you. Thank you, Angel Nara. Love you all in this great community of women. Yay!" Mary corrected me. She said it's called and spelled cortisol. Um, you guys can Google it. Drinking coffee is like a spiritual experience every morning. I agree, Ruby. It is. I like drinking coffee in the morning. I feel so like empowered after a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
But I do like coffee around 1 or 2 because I get really
Yeah.
sleepy around that time. And
Mm.
I need a noon coffee for sure, more so than a morning coffee, just because I could feel my body more tired around that time.
Interesting.
Um, and we have Maria said, I have read that drinking water is better for you first thing in the morning. I've read that too. So I've been doing that now. And then I have my coffee. Great idea. Let me chug water in the morning. In the morning. So I know there's a lot of ladies here. So keep sharing what you're drinking this morning. I believe that, your personality shows through the type of coffee or tea that you drink. And it's just fun for women to get to know each other that way. But we're going to go into this hot topic. Cardi and Meg's performance. So I was surprised. Maybe my algorithms weren't showing any drama about the Grammys.
Yeah, I
Was
didn't.
Mine,
that the
mine
case?
didn't either.
I didn't either.
No.
Okay. So a lot of people, I guess, didn't watch the Grammys, and I saw that
I
even
didn't.
people wrote like the Grammys happened, and
Mhm.
after I made a post,
Mhm.
so I
I
don't know.
almost, yeah, I almost feel like people are so busy right now with the pandemic and work, and it's now spring. Like nobody's watching TV, like
Yeah.
live
Possibly.
TV. Everybody's watching like recorded stuff or like Netflix or But if they don't really watch commercials, then they don't really know that the Grammys were going to come out. And I don't know. That was
True.
me. That was me.
True.
Yeah, that was me too.
True. You know what? That I caught it in the middle. I was like, oh my God, the Grammys are going on. So I ran. Um, I feel like I need to be on top of all the topics and everything that's going on just for this show now. So I'm always watching or what's going on or what's popular. Um, so the performance came on, and right away when I saw the performance come on, my husband was like, he told my girls like, go over there, because we already knew when you see them, you need to get your kids out of the room.
Yeah.
Right. So
I mean, it's good to teach them like women empowerment and stuff, but I personally don't feel that women empowerment equals women showing all of
all
their
the
bodies, spreading their legs, doing all that stuff. Like my daughter would be really fighting me right now, but I don't appreciate it from thin women. I don't appreciate it from thick women. I don't appreciate it from really any women. So like why do they have to do that? Like
yeah. So just a rundown real quick. It's the song itself has a derogatory
oh yeah,
message, right? I'm not gonna say what it is.
it,
You
it was the
you
WAP song, right?
Yeah, the WAP, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna
No.
say, people can Google that. But the whole performance, it was all right at the first. At first, I was like, okay, Cardi trying right here. She trying to do a little choreography. It ain't working because she looking like grandma for a little bit. Not hating on Cardi, but she seemed a little stiff. But I was like, all right. Then I was like, okay, a huge bed and they're dancing on it. All right. Um, and then it got really like interesting when they started dancing together. That's the part where I was like, hold up, wait, what's going on right here? Um, so the FCC got 80 complaints, right? 80 complaints, not compared to J Lo and Shakira's Super Bowl, which was 1,300 complaints. That's interesting that they got more complaints for the
But what are the
Super Bowl.
statistics that who was like? There's a whole lot more people who watch the Super Bowl than there are
Yes,
who watch the Grammys.
I
So,
agree. That's probably the reason why there was a difference, 80 to 1,300.
mhm.
Um, but still, something like, I think when the whole thing, even, okay, so I started Googling this stuff. So Janet Jackson, when that thing happened with Justin Timberlake,
Oh yeah.
they got fined CBS $550,000 for the little nipple
The niplet,
situation. The
the
niplet
niplet.
situation.
How many
Um,
complaints did they get though for that?
I They didn't share the complaint. So I'm wondering, will there be any fines towards, was it CBS that broadcasted the Grammys? I don't remember what channel it was.
I think it
You know,
was.
was it CBS?
I
Okay.
think so. Yeah.
So this is just something to, I guess one of the things, like I said, I knew that something retro was going to happen. I don't know what you guys thought.
I think it was just like Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion. I don't know, but I thought prior to the taping you brought up a good point when you said that who's calling the shots, who's like allowing this, who's pushing it, who's Cardi B and Megan don't sit there and choreograph and do all the costumes and do all the makeup and put all this together. There are people that do that for them, and then they just go out and they perform because they're part of record labels. You know, the record labels kind of tell them, here you go, here's this. Especially being first-time artists, I can't imagine that they have so much say. I mean, it's even said that Beyonce, she was in her contract with the record label, and she didn't get a lot of say and stuff up until the Lemonade. The Lemonade record was her first record without a music label, and so, you know, she didn't even get a lot of say. So I can't imagine that if somebody like Beyonce didn't get a lot of say, Cardi B and Megan, being first-time artists, would get a lot of say in what they're doing.
Agreed. Agreed. You know, and I think that's one of the things is in the rap culture, right? There's a lot of hypersexuality revolved around women, which is associated with this hyper masculinity. Like the women rappers aren't really considered lyricists. Because if you ever notice, like, it's funny because my husband's like, have you ever noticed that her lyrics are trash? Not talking about Cardi, but Meg Thee Stallion, because she just says, if anyone ever listens to actual lyrics, it's just like she's just putting words together. There's no like actual story or meaning, or you know, there's nothing like flowing. So that's something to keep in mind. Like women in that industry, and obviously all industries, right? They are hypersexualized, and quite frankly, men don't need to take off their clothes to assert their power. Let's just be honest, right? Men don't have to do that. So I guess that's something to keep in mind. Like I was sharing with you ladies about Punky Brewster, right? We were just watching, me and my husband, something over the weekend over her childhood on Hulu. And at 13, she was hypersexualized because unfortunately she had E-sized breasts. So like she's 13 in the 90s. She's still a little girl. Like I would have beat the crud out of whoever tried sexualizing my child, right? I don't know what happened there, but just something to keep in mind that, and we're not justifying the behavior, but we're bringing awareness to the situation, I guess. So I see some comments coming in. So Mary said, we were watching a family show and then everyone went their separate rooms. I turned it on and was glad my daughter was in the room. I agree. I agree with you, Angel. All that is not necessary. I guess I missed some stuff on the Grammys this year. LOL. Angel's correct. I actually forgot about the show this year because I'm not into TV anymore. I think they always want to shock people so that they can be talked about. Probably. That's a good point. Hi, buddy. Thank you, ladies, for the positive feedback. I greatly appreciate it. Okay, so yeah, so share your comments and your feedback. I mean, some women are like, hey, I like women embracing their sexuality, and some women are like, no, you know, I didn't like it. I didn't appreciate it. I don't think it's acceptable. And Nara, you said a good comment, like Cardi came from the sexual industry, the sex industry.
I really think that Cardi thinks that she had a come up, that, oh, I'm doing this instead of doing what I used to do, and this is so much better, and I get paid so much more for doing this, because a lot of women in the sex industry think like that. The more you get paid, the more you get paid for a service, the less, what's the right word? I'm trying to find the right word, but the more able they're willing to do a service, right? So you get a lot of money. You go on the Grammys now. By all accounts, in their eyes, you know, they've made it doing a WAP song. So that's not my projection of success, you know, doing a WAP song and, oh, I've made it, and dancing on a bed, you know, nearly naked at the Grammys. If that's how they measure success, you know, a thumbs up, and maybe they'll find Wise. I don't know. Or Jesus.
They'll find Jesus.
Find Wise or Jesus. Exactly.
I mean,
Yeah.
I thought Cardi B's outfit was kind of cool. It was like high waisted. It reminded me of like Madonna's bra, but like a 2021 version of it. But I thought that they were kind of covered up. It to me like those thong bikinis. Remember the thong song?
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know, so to me that's like whoa, you know. So I thought her outfit was kind of conservative in that aspect. But I thought it was kind of cool. But then you add everything else, and it's like I really like Cardi and I really like Megan, and I just wish that they, I don't know, maybe were presented differently. Because for anybody to get to that level of success, you have to be smart, you have to be intelligent. You know, there are certain characteristics that you have to have as a woman and as a minority woman, you know, to reach to perform at the Grammys. You know, you're not just a Joe Blow off the street or a Mary Joe off the street, but you know, that's how they decided to represent themselves. You know, what was it? Last year we had Beyonce, who was like pregnant, going back in like this goddess
Attire.
outfit thing with all her well, not last year. It had to have been a couple years ago now. You know, that's what I think a Grammy performance is. I just remember, this will be my last comment, but as a kid, like the Grammy and the Super Bowl performances were the top notch, and just a level of class that was there was absolutely amazing. And they've definitely put a twist to that, put a spicy twist to it. So
Make it a little. Yeah, and it's something that I caught my eye that I just wanted to bring up, and just okay. I saw Madonna. Okay, I'm just putting this out there. I've seen Madonna when she got her butt implants twerk in one of her performances. Now it wasn't a Grammy, and it wasn't a Super Bowl show, but there wasn't so much commotion around that, right? And I saw a TikTok where it was a young lady that said, we get now our information from TikTok. It's so funny. Where she said, there's an issue with minority someone help me out, performers. Yes, compared to other performers, like they're held at a different standard overall, right? Because if you see someone else do it, a Caucasian woman do it, it's not as bad, right? Compared to a minority woman doing it. I don't know. I just wanted to throw that out there. Like maybe we need to think about our stigmas around minority performers in general. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there.
no, I'm glad that you said that, because I was thinking that and I just didn't want to be the one to say it. So I'm glad that you brought it up.
Yeah, I think that, you know, Latinas, and, you know, African American women are just, as you said earlier, just they are more sexualized, or like people think them more as sexual.
It's okay
objects.
to, in this society, to do that.
Yeah. And it's also the way that we carry ourselves. We are more sensual than some other, you know, women, and so they just want to like hype, like, I guess, exaggerate it, you know.
Yeah, we are. Our culture itself is definitely very sensual, you know, compared to other cultures, right? And what I mean by that is like the outfits that we wear, the clothing, it's a norm.
Yeah, are the way we dance, like
The way we
everything
dance.
about us. Yeah, yeah. I mean, and it's just dancing, you know, but it's not that we're trying to be sexual. It's just the way that, you know, the dance is.
Yeah. So that's just, this is a great conversation. So if you guys want to throw in there, my point is men don't need to take off their clothes. That's all I want to make sure I emphasize, right? Women feel empowered when they take off their clothes, but I just want to address that men don't need to do that. So something to keep in mind.
Yeah. And, you know, and also too, if Megan and Cardi, if that's what they want to do, like, go for it, right? So my whole thing is like, if they're being forced to, right? Because you hear for all these talk shows like Behind the Music and stuff, especially from minority, Black women rappers or Black women who are in the industry a lot, when they do like Behind the Music or something like that, you find out that, they were in tears before the performance and they didn't want to do this and all that stuff. And so, if Megan and Cardi really wanted to do that and it was them pushing that, all thumbs up, for them, because music is an expression. And, that's, my mom told me when I was a young girl, like, dancing to Elvis, like doing the twist, was considered sexualized when she was growing up, and it was really taboo. And because of how conservative her parents were, she could get in a lot of trouble for doing the twist to Elvis. But now we have Cardi B and Megan doing that sort of performance. So if that's empowering to them, I have a lot of respect for them. But if it's industry pushed, my heart goes out to them.
Yeah. Well, that's great conversation, and you guys keep chiming in and conversating on that. Let's talk about I Care a Lot. Interesting movie. Don't want to dabble too long because I know we still got to talk about mom pop shops and then the STIMMY, but the movie, I don't know how many people here saw it, but I thought, is this real?
I could not stop watching it. It was crazy.
I have not seen a movie like that ever, where I was like, what the heck am I watching? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. It almost was like, is this legit? Like, and I kept reading a lot of comments like, unfortunately, this is the truth, or this is sad. And I said, hold up, is this for real? Like, is this? So the whole movie, if you haven't watched it, it's about, okay, who knows the movie? Who wants to talk about the movie? There you go, Angel, go for it.
Okay, so the whole movie is about a woman who works with a doctor, a geriatric doctor, to try to find her next victim. The next victim would be someone with money, someone who doesn't have family, someone who is well off, that she could basically set on a platter for the guardian to go to court and say that, with the doctor's assistance, to say that they are unable to take care of themselves and they need to be a ward of the state. So that then the woman could then take advantage of all of her finances, all of her properties, all of her assets. She basically takes all of her, all of her wealth, all of her everything, and puts her in a home, and she has no control over anything because she has the backup from the doctor that says that she is not able to take care of herself.
And a court order.
With a court order, yeah. So she goes to court to do that, and she gets a court order, and then basically the people have no say in trying to be able to make themselves independent again, because it's a court order and it's doctor backed. So it's just really sad and scary.
But there's a twist to this one.
Yeah, she ends up getting the wrong woman.
Like a Russian mobster mom.
Yeah,
like what are the chances of that?
That is crazy. I think I wanted to bring this up too because I remember there was a comment when you first saw this movie, Jen, that you had said that there was no Latinos on her wall, because she had a wall with like all these pictures of like her next victims, her current victims. And like when you said that, it made me think, why aren't we on that wall? Like, does that mean that we're not worthy of being taken advantage of? We can does that mean that we're not setting ourselves up enough where someone wants to take advantage of us? Like it was just a little bit different to me. Like, I don't know.
That's a great question. I just thought maybe we just have too many family, too much family.
Did you see that there was one of her victims, her son was always looking for her and trying to, get his mom back, and he was saying that his mom was fine, and I mean, ultimately, I don't, spoiler alert, he's the one who ended up killing her. So, I mean, a family is still always going to be,
Yeah, that's a
gonna
good
get
point.
you back.
That's a
But
good point.
I was offended by the fact that there was not enough Latinos on that wall.
You're so funny. Well, my only thought process was maybe, a lot of our well, I only could speak on Mexican or maybe other Latino cultures, but many times when they hit that retirement age, they want to go back to their homeland and live their last retirement years, where they're from. Like my dad wants to go back to Mexico when he retires and live
My
there.
husband does too. Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe culturally, there's not enough of us here, like elderly. Well, and they become right. Like I know my husband's grandparents; they're more like what do they call them? Winter birds.
Oh, the
Snowbirds.
snowbirds.
They like to come here when it's warm, and then when it gets cold, they go back and they just boop, back and forth. Come back and
Yeah,
forth as they please.
yeah.
So, I see that Mary is chiming in. I see estate sales now and wonder. That's
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sad. I saw it and made me so mad. I felt bad for those that don't have advocates to help them. I would have fought teeth and nails for my parent. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like that. Oh, go ahead with the comments. I'll comment after.
Yeah, it's just Kim. The Latin community takes care of their own, which is great.
I was gonna say that son that Angel was talking about in the movie was fighting tooth and nail for, their for his mom. I'm sorry. It's still early for me. I'm sorry about that. But so the thing about that is, I think it just shows the corruption side of conservatorship as to, like, how do people with families get taken advantage? Well, a lot of times, the doctors are being paid, and you can just go to court and you can, as a doctor, say, yeah, they need a conservatorship, and it's appointed, right? Because the judge was never paid in it. He was simply following the law and instilling the law, and you can see how hard it is to get back. And like I had mentioned pre-show, this came out in Tatum to when Hulu released their documentary on Britney Spears and her conservatorship. And I think that while we're talking about old people here and things like that, there's conservatorships, but that's basically essentially what happened with Britney. She had this breakdown, if you remember, and now it's you can see now that we talk about it, was postpartum depression, right? She wasn't going through a breakdown. She didn't have a mental breakdown. She was going through postpartum depression. She had just had her kids, and then all of a sudden, basically, a doctor went to the court and said, yeah, she's having a mental breakdown. This very, very capable woman, this woman that's able to perform, this woman who's supported her whole family off of her dime. She can make all these decisions, but now all of a sudden, this woman, because she's going through what she's going through, and here's paparazzi pictures of it, she can't handle her money. And they appointed this conservatorship, and the whole point of Britney can't get out of it, because the conservatorship, as you can see from this movie, even when you're dealing with old people, but conservatorship on a bigger level, you can't get out of. The state just won't peel it back, even if their kids, even if people's kids are sitting there banging in the court like that son did and said, I'm here. Why am I not doing this? And it's enough to make a family go crazy. As you could see what the son did. And I think like he even tried getting into the nursing home and they had to restrain him. And he was fighting at the courthouse, I believe. I mean, can you just imagine how frustrating that is? So talk about fighting for your family tooth and nail, or fighting for people like Britney Spears. She had one episode of postpartum depression, and even now they say statistically in her case, and she's not even old, that it's so unlikely that this conservatorship will ever be pulled
Wow.
back, because they just don't do it. It's set up to protect people, and people are abusing that in the system.
Wow, that is so sad. I mean, that is terrifying almost, right? Because
It
the
is.
law, it's those white collar crimes, right? Like it's just they get away with it because they know how and they have the network and the system already in place, and it's sad. Yeah, I was very angry when I saw the movie. And
Mm-hmm.
then but then when you saw, like, I guess my favorite character was the lawyer. I don't know why he cracked me up so much
Oh yeah.
when he came in, and he was like it was like almost like this very sarcastic but funny character coming in, like kind of like calling her out on like what she's doing. So you definitely brought some great points, Nara, in regards to, like, I really wanted to watch the Britney Spears documentary. I haven't even had a chance to watch that one yet, but I'm sure that has the
It's on
I
Hulu, or where is that?
It was on Hulu, and I just searched Britney Spears, and it came up. But
mm,
could you imagine? You have the Britney Spears documentary about what happened to her, and then you have this with old people. But especially us as women, or even minorities, like you brought up, Angel. They have a bad day or something, and a doctor is getting paid to sign them off. Knowing Britney Spears is under conservatorship, that she's our age. Any of
yeah,
us sitting on this program or watching right now, if we have a bad day and a doctor's getting paid, essentially the movie shows there's a whole system set up that we could be in a conservatorship,
yeah,
or anybody
wow,
that we know. It doesn't have to be old people. And
yeah,
that's, talk about reform.
Yeah, those are
wow.
laws that definitely need to be modified.
Yeah.
Wow. I wonder what other real stories, right? Like, has anyone come out? And if anyone's watching, they know of something that actually, besides Britney, of course, that's a definitely concrete evidence. But I'm wondering in regards to like elderly people, because I know like my neighbor, she's an elderly woman in her mid 80s, and her son's like, don't open the door for nobody,
Yeah.
don't sign anything, don't talk to anyone. Like, if anyone comes to the door, call me, and he'll be here. Like,
Yeah.
in like, she doesn't want to leave her house. She's like, nope, I'm gonna stay in my house till I die. So and he
Yeah.
tries to like take her, like, come with me, live with me, and she's like, nope, nope, nope. So but he's really big on like, she can't like, I'm on alert for her, but like she can't answer the door because people take advantage of the
Yeah.
elderly. And just in the movie, all she did was open the door, and that was enough for someone just come in and like take
Mm-hmm.
everything, right?
Yeah.
So
Well, and in the movie, the lawyer, not the lawyer, the woman, the the lady that went to her house and showed her that paper. There's a key part in there, Jen, that says, she says something to the effect of, we kind of want to make sure that they know that they don't have any options, because if they knew their options, they wouldn't come with us. So a lot of people actually have the option, like if you said, if they don't open the door, and they actually don't have to go with them. The way that makes it legal was when the woman actually went with her. And then
mm,
now look what happened to that lady.
wow. Wow, this is great. And I think, we have people saying, go Nara, even Britney Spears can't get out of it. I don't know many that Latinos are in a home. Yeah, Latinos aren't big on putting their loved ones in homes. They're more about, I think Latinos and the Asian community is big on bringing them into, bringing their parents in their home and taking
That's
care of them.
that's something that I struggle with, and that's something that I wanted to talk about, but I guess that's another topic. I'm dealing with that right now, and it's
Oh,
just it's not to have a two-income household. And everyone is always all over the place, and having to take care of someone who's elderly or ill is just not easy like it used to be. It's just
yeah.
not, and it should be more acceptable to put your family in a home if you have no other options, and it's just not,
Mm,
unfortunately.
Aren't they, if they're put in a home, aren't they kind of sort of protected from something like this? Because I can't imagine you have your emergency contacts, and by law, the nursing home has people that they can contact and stuff. So if somebody just went in there with a court order, I think the nursing home people would almost be well versed to say, sorry, you're not allowed here, or that's not how it is. You can't just take them out.
yeah, yeah.
Almost in
Um,
some respects, right?
yeah. Well, I think this is a great topic. We could talk about it a little bit. You nailed it. The system's working the way it intended to expose the flaws. I just want to show the comments. And Hulu under the New York Times presents. Um, and I guess that's a great question. See, Maria said, "Have a great day, ladies. Love your energy." Well, like Maria Paloma, she's a great example. She took her mom, and she was the one that took care of her. Like she was the one that made sure that she had caretakers, and she had. I remember Maria before her mom passed away. She was big on caring for her mom, and she took her mom, and for the last years of her mom's life lived with her, which I know Maria loved. But I can imagine it is difficult to care for an elderly loved one. I think the biggest thing is you need support. I would imagine, right?
Support and financial support as well.
Resources.
Resources, like, unfortunately, the government is, we want the government says they're going to help you, but you also don't want you're not looking for a handout, but it's also not very easy to get the handout. So it's like, I almost feel like our hands are tied, because we're at an income where we make too much to get help, but we don't make enough to actually be able to get help,
Mhm.
to pay for the help ourselves.
Yeah.
So, like, we're just struggling with that a lot right now.
Yeah. Yeah. It almost seems like a child, right? You're gonna have to take the day. One person's gonna have to decide, I'm not gonna work, or I'm gonna become a CNA. I think they become purposely to get
Caretaker.
paid. Yeah, they become a caretaker to take care of their elderly parent in their home. um that's a great conversation. I think definitely we need to talk about that for another discussion, because I think there's a whole world, a whole topic around that people can talk about. But I totally, it makes sense. It makes sense, and
My
we're all
dad
gonna get
is
there.
my dad is in assisted living, and I have great peace that he's there and not somewhere else. Because, like, even for this, something like this, sure, that woman was worth millions, the lady that was took, but you can still make money off people that just, the average middle class people that just have a savings, or maybe they have a house or something. I'm sure that's where the bulk of these people that are doing this wrong get it from the middle class that just have their average savings and stuff. But with my dad being he's in assisted living, but even with him being there, at least nobody can come and steal anything from him.
Yeah, yeah, and I think there's a difference, right? We're thinking assistant living is different than a nursing home, right? Because he can
Yeah.
still leave, he can still go on vacation, he can still, it's kind of like they have like an apartment, and then if they need help, they just call for like some
Yeah.
help to come in,
and,
right?
and then the next step is the nursing home, where
Yeah.
they're, yeah.
It's definitely a nice topic to talk about. So, thank you for bringing that up. Let's go into our next topic. Mom pop shops. I think Angel's the one that stirred the pot with this conversation. So she was good at that. So I'll share how this started. All right. And It's funny. Uh, Dunkin' Donuts, ¿cómo se llaman? The mongaladas?
The mangonada.
Is that no?
Mangonada.
Mangonadas, whatever. Mongaladas, mangonadas. I'm not into those things, right? Um, I never really I like it, but I tried it once and I was like, oh cool. And then I just never was like, yeah, let me get another one. So Dunkin' in predominantly Latino community was selling mangonadas. So I thought, oh cool, like that's smart. You obviously need to put something out there to attract, the community. And then Angel was like, here's another what you say?
Corporate business, corporate, trying to take over the mom and pop shops.
Yeah, trying to take over the mom pop shop. And I was like, damn, that's okay. Like I didn't think about that. Like it is, right? For a second I was like, I just thought it was very smart that Duncan did that. And it was a franchise. It's not all Dunkins are doing that. Like I think I said in one of my comments, like Lincoln Park is not going to be selling mangonadas. They don't care for that, right? So I just thought it was clever marketing. But then other people thought, no, that's them stealing from mom pop shops. So I said, okay. So I thought, let's talk about it here. Like, do you support mom pop shops? What are your thoughts revolved around that? I'll just let you guys let you take over that conversation.
I mean, I just feel like if you're already backed by this huge corporation and franchise, like stick to that. That's really my way of thinking. Like Dunkin' Donuts has so much exposure for, their coffee, their ice cream, their donuts. Why do they feel they need to grab a hold of something else that a mom and pop shop is that's what how they thrive. You know what I mean? Like how is that fair to the mom and pop shop where that's all that they have? Oops, my alarm is going off. I'm sorry.
Well, and for me, I think it's let's define mom and pop shops for maybe some viewers that aren't, um, familiar with what a mom and pop shop is, especially in Chicago when you have so much corporations. But to me, a mom and pop shop is places like, help me with the name of your business.
Oh,
Pies,
Pies of Amor.
Pies of Amor.
Yeah.
They're places like Wise Development. They're places like MRV Financial, Crystal Clear Cleaning. Even when we're talking in retrospect to this one particular product, they're the gentleman, my neighbor, when I lived in Humboldt Park, my neighbor that worked, him and his wife were first generation immigrants, and they worked a full-time job, and they had a little cart that they would push by the library in Humboldt Park across from the park. And they would sit there with their little daughter in a stool and sell these sort of products that were made right from their home down the block after they worked full time. So there's, a big, what is a mom and pop shop? A big, that to me is all of you ladies and your businesses and things like that. And so when you say, when you have the narrative of we're taking money away from those stores, I think we're taking money away from my friends, right? Or from people that just had a dream, when and we're able to go out and we're able to just had a dream and they wanted to start something, and they had a group like us that supported all their dreams, right? And so you're taking money away from them. We're not talking about, maybe it's a $3 or $4 product here, a $10 or less product, but it's somebody's livelihood and somebody's dream. And I come from working from a corporate restaurant background, from a food industry that was corporate. You look at PF Chang's, that's Chinese food, and a lot of traditional Chinese restaurants are restaurants that are, immigrant based. that have come, that have started. Not all of them get, as big as PF Chang's. The majority of them don't, right? And then Giordano's was a family-owned business, and then they sold it and they got bought out. But so I'm coming from that, and that's my point of view on that is, it's really cute. But then, on the other side of it is everybody gets into business mostly to become a Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
So, and then Jennifer pointed out, I heard a key word. She said franchisee. So we're supporting somebody's dream, and Dunkin' Donuts as a corporation is getting a certain amount from that. And my husband and I talk about opening up a franchise with a name brand that, what are the cheapest or what are the most profitable, and we look at different factors. So, are we really taking it away from a mom and pop shop? Because these people, very well, this could have been their dream and they just went with a name brand, and plastered it, and we could be supporting the same sort of family that had a dream. They just bought into a franchisee. So are we taking away from a mom and pop or not? I don't know. So those are
Yeah.
the two sides that I think about.
Yeah, and I think to get into a franchise, usually there's dropping 80, 100 grand, right? They're dropping, and I haven't done much research, but I know what company was it? A Subway? If you wanted to get into Subway, it was like 80 grand or something like that.
Yeah,
Um,
and you have to
but
have assets too, and sometimes there's a whole parameter. Sorry.
yeah, no. And it's good to get into a franchise. That means people had to have saved, right? And then another thing is if you don't support corporate America, let's say, then you're not supporting families who need to eat. Like they do pay,
The
right?
employee, yeah.
Employees, and they do provide income to that community. So that's why, like, you have an impoverished area, they want to set up a Walmart. And why do they want to set up a Walmart? Because that means there's going to be more
Jobs.
jobs in that community, right? So there's definitely multiple ways of seeing this. I definitely think always support the small business owner, because it is a lot harder for them than a corporation, because a corporation has dollars for advertising and marketing, and probably get some tax incentives to open up in certain areas, blah blah blah, right?
Yeah.
But a mom pop shop, it might be a little different. So I can see it's important to have both, I think, right? So let me see. Any comments coming in? Um, Kim said, Amen. I support the mom pop shops all the way. Uh, Kim said, yes, it takes money to have a franchise. I'm a corporate, however, I'm a small business. I just don't like when companies
Like
to
Walmart.
like Walmart monopolize the industry. Hopefully this makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely makes sense. And then of course, if you're a union worker, or you're like Walmart is not American made, right? Like they get
Not
everything from
anymore.
China.
Yeah.
They get everything from China. So there's people that are really against Walmart. I know that we're encouraged not to shop there because my husband's a union laborer. So it's like, you're supposed to only buy things from America, so
Yeah.
so just a lot of things to keep in mind. I think this conversation could take so many angles, right? Um, but I definitely think supporting small business owners definitely is priority for me, at least in my case. That's one of the biggest things I think Wise is all about. It's always giving exposure to the small business owner, minority, right? Women in general is like my priority. Men get
And
plenty of
it's easy
exposure.
now. It's easier now than it ever has been with social media. But then you have platforms like Etsy that put all small businesses together and have really made, people's lives change.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. So I think one of the biggest things is, I guess there's no right or wrong. It's what you think is best for your community. Small businesses are provide jobs. There's a reason why we need them just as much as the big Walmarts. So yeah, this is a good topic as well. I agree. Any comments, any thoughts? Definitely chime in. If do you support the small business? Do you support corporations? What are your thoughts if you are watching?
Do you know a fun thing that I'll say about this too is um, just being in the restaurant industry myself. When during the pandemic, actually, if any time that we've gone out to eat, dine in, and I was pregnant for 2020 during the pandemic, and then I have the baby now in 2021 during the pandemic. Um, we've actually only gone to corporate stores because I'm afraid that like I'm familiar with the procedures. I know that they have to follow protocol. I know that the regional is going to come in and, you know, raise hell if, you know, procedures aren't followed. I know what it means for a corporate store to be shut down and what that would mean for the people involved there. And I know the back end of that. And so I'm like, oh yeah, we're only going to eat at corporate just because I know like a lot of these smaller businesses, in all due respect, the health department may or may not target them, right? And
Mm,
and so it's like they may not be cleaning and stuff. And I'm just sitting here, and that's a thought that actually came to mind when you said that, as far as supporting small business. You know, I think it's time for me and my family to get back out there and do that. It used to be, you know, in Chicago, that's like one of the best things about Chicago being a foodie is all the different restaurants that aren't corporate.
yeah.
Um, just holding myself accountable in this conversation as we're speaking. I think it's time for me and maybe anybody that's done the same thing out there. Maybe we should get back out there and support those small businesses again.
Yeah, I'm gonna share. Yesterday, we okay. So I'm not supposed to be eating a burger, but I went to a small pop shop and I grabbed a burger. We wanted to drive around and go eat fast food and get ice cream, right? Like it was nice yesterday, in the evening, and I was sitting inside the restaurant waiting for the meal to be prepared, and the cooks only had their mouth covered, like this part. So I thought so I looked and I thought to myself, your nostrils are still over my food. You know, your oxygen, whatever's in your body, is still being blown onto my food, regardless if you have gloves. So I thought about that for a second and I just said, okay, I'm just going to pray that we're going to be fine. I cover my food, you know, like I would start praying. But, you know, that is a risk, like you said, Nara, going to the small mom pop shops. If they're enforcing the rules, like you're supposed to cover your nose as well as a whole, right? But you know, things happen.
Yeah.
There's so many people who don't wear their masks, right? But that's a whole nother.
Yeah.
But and that just brought that just brought a thought because you said that, Nara, which is a good point. You know, what are the small mom pop shops doing? But even outside of the restaurant business, anything else that's, you know, like there's other services that we can take advantage that maybe we're not taking advantage of, like
Yeah.
your nail shops, your beauty parlors, your small retail type stores, you know, little merchandise stores, or any service online, or even MLMs, right? Some of these moms
Yeah.
provide for their families. So
Yeah.
yeah. Um, let me see what we have. Yeah, Malette said, uh, I did the opposite. I supported more small businesses this last year compared to corporate. I almost reported KFC, but then I held back. Oh no! Oh my God! I saw this in KFC. The mask wasn't put on correctly. So yeah. So there's we're gonna get it in all in you know, we're gonna see things in corporate and small mom pop shops. This is basically like it's up to the manager or whoever's enforcing. So this is a great topic to talk about, and let's go to our final topic because I know we're waiting on this conversation. um your stimmies. So what are you going to do with your stimmy, which now I know is a stimulus check? For a second, I was like, what the heck is a stimmy? But now I know what it is. So some people might have got it or received it already. Some
I
people
don't.
might not. Okay, we have Angel.
I
Yes.
did.
Some people might have not received it. So, if you have it, great. We're not trying to know all your business, but what, and I guess one of the things, Nara, that we could ask you is, what can you do if you didn't receive it, or why might have someone not received it?
So I'm the perfect person to answer that question because I am actually in that boat. I never got my stimulus checks. And so what I did was I contacted my tax preparer, who happens to now be my boss. So funny story there, but I actually, it's funny since we're on part of the WISE program, I met Ruby, who's my boss and who's the owner of MRV, and who gave me this opportunity to bring income into my family and to learn taxes through WISE at the workshop. So it's like a small world how things work. And I took I went to her for my taxes for like 3 or 4 years or something, and then she called me to check up on me and offered me this opportunity to become a tax consultant. So she's minority owned small business, right? Like we talked about. And then also, I don't know where I was going with this, the stimulus. So I asked her, I haven't been getting my stimulus. What should I do? Because she's become my mentor. I have no financial background. I'm a business management background. So she's really encompassed being my boss and my mentor. And, we started looking into this. And so basically, if you're in my position, what's awesome about this year's taxes, about 2021, is they actually have a form for you to go ahead and fill out, and it will come to you in your taxes. So somebody in my position from 2020, and this still applies for 2021 as well, is you can just get it back on your taxes. So let's say you don't get this round of stimulus, mind you that they have not completed going out on the stimulus checks. So at this point, if you haven't received your stimulus, you still may get your stimulus. But let's say, a couple months down the road, when they're actually done giving out the stimulus, you haven't received it. Just like this year for 2020, 2021 will also have a form for you to fill out, and you'll get it deposited with your taxes. So there's no worries. It's kind of a little disappointing. I know that when everybody was getting their $1,200 check and $600 check, I was just kind of sitting there staring out into, space like, oh, that must be so nice. But you can get it in your taxes. So it'll just be a little bit of a delay. And I just want to encourage everybody to hang in there. I know it's frustrating because I've actually literally been there, but you will get it. And then some of the reasons why you might not be getting it may be income driven. And so I believe the statuses are that I believe it's about 70,000 for a single. If you file, basically why I say single is because they're based off of how you file. So if you file single, the cutoff for the income or how you could potentially be getting affected is if your income's about $70,000. If you're married and filing jointly, I believe it's about 150 to maybe 200,000 when you start getting affected and when you start not qualifying. And then Another reason could be because you may be a non-filer. So a non-filer basically means that it's not for people that have been working and just haven't filed their taxes or are doing that on purpose. A non-filer is basically if you don't meet those income requirements to file. Perhaps maybe you're a stay-at-home parent. And for the non-filers, the IRS actually has set up a tool because they recognize this in the first two rounds that you can actually go into the IRS. They have a tool for a non-filers. Another great solution to the non-filer is if you do file, there's a tax form that you can file. You can even file a zero, I forget the terminology. I believe it's a zero tax return where, you know, you didn't make any money, but you can still file it. So they have your 2020 taxes on file. And why that's important is because for this stimulus, it's based off of 2020 taxes. So all of that, I hope that makes sense.
Yeah.
Also, one other tool is, I believe it's called Get My Payment or Find My Payment. It's a tool from the IRS where you can check the status, and you have to enter in certain information, and they should be able to track it down and give you a status on it as well. So, lots of solutions there. I hope that makes sense.
Oh, yeah, yeah, absolutely. This is very helpful. And I know that we have Ruby. She shared some links inside the chat so that if anyone wants to check it out, they can go to the irs.gov Coronavirus Impact Payment Information Center, as well as irs.gov/coronavirus second EIP facts. So definitely great information. So I appreciate this. I know that this was a question. Some people haven't received their stimulus checks. Some people might not qualify. Some people might have made over the amount that was intended for the stimulus. Some might have not. But this is all just good information because I know a lot of people have been asking and commenting, and that's why we wanted to talk about it today on today's show. So as we wrap up, Nara, can you share your contact information if anyone has any questions and they want to reach out to you in regards more to the, stimulus or taxes and all that stuff?
Oh, thank you. Yes, I'd love to help. You can direct message me here, and you can also reach out to me. I have a MRV phone number. I don't have it memorized, so I'm going to pull it up. I have a business phone number. It is going to be 708-858-3795. You can also email me at nara@mrvfinancial.com as well. And also a great resource is the IRS website. I think Ruby was posting things from the IRS. That's where we find a lot of our information. But yeah, I know it's probably frustrating for some, but hang in there. You will get it eventually if you haven't received it.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. So that's great. We have that information there. Thank you, Nara, for chiming in and sharing this morning. Angel, do you have any final words that you wanted to share?
It was a great chat today. A little bit of everything all over the place, but we got it all in. And I just thank you for the opportunity. I am taking orders for Easter. So if anyone is interested in getting a banana cream pie, a Boston cream pie, a French silk pie, whatever you like, just feel free to message me through, Facebook personally, or you can like my Facebook business page, Pies of Amor, home of Angel's Chocolatey Banana Cream Pie, and I'd be more than happy to help you out with dessert for Easter.
Yeah, you actually have a form, right, that you take down. People fill out a form if they want to order.
I have a Google form link on my business page to place orders.
Nice. So yeah, take advantage of that because her pies are delicious. I've had the banana and the Boston, which they're yummy. So thank you
Yeah.
for sharing that.
And I have been looking up recipes for vegan. I just have to I have to try it out and make it first so that if it tastes terrible then I'm not going to give it to you.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because I'm like, I can't have all those carbs. Help me out here. But so
I'm trying.
that's a whole different conversation. Because right now we're doing the whole trying to lose weight, biggest loser stuff. Thank you, ladies, for the great information. Jackie said, Yamilet said, great chat, ladies. So I guess finally, I want to make sure I announce that we are going to have our run on May 2nd. There's a couple of announcements. Our next coaching program starts the week of Easter, April 3rd and 4th. We're going to launch cohort 6 of our coaching 12-week coaching program. So if anyone's interested in a 12-week program where we help you with life and business and help you identify what you want to do in your life, yeah, sign up for that. Reach out to me for that. And as well as May 2nd is our Fat Girls Run 5K, 10K half marathon. A lot of us are starting this week our training. So we have an entire Facebook community revolved around that. You don't have to be a runner. Everyone always says, do you have to be a runner? Like, I really don't run fast. People think running equates to running like speed. Like, no, it's like a light jog. So you guys can find Fat Girls Run. We have a whole Facebook community group separate from a regular one where we're just training there and holding each other accountable. So let me know if you're interested. We're going to start training for the next 6 weeks, and then we will be running on May 2nd. This is exciting news, everyone. So we have a lot of fun stuff coming up. So any questions, reach out to me. You guys already know you can definitely reach out to me. You can go to follow us on our social media platforms, Women's Self Development. We have a website, womensselfdevelopment.org. You can email me at womensselfdevelopment@gmail.com. And of course, we do have the free Facebook community, Wise Women Support Group, that you can join. So thank you so much, ladies, for joining me, and everyone that was on the chat. We appreciate you guys engaging with us and conversating with us this morning. I appreciate you guys.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you so much.
Thank
I
you.
I can't
appreciate
believe
it.
it's only 6 weeks to May 2nd. That means it's 6 weeks to my birthday. Okay,
Oh.
sorry. I was just like, what?
Yeah, 6 weeks. Six
Oh my
weeks
God.
to May 2nd. We're leaving winter and we're getting into all the nice weather
Yay.
now. Finally. Thank you, ladies.
Okay,
God bless you
bye. God
guys.
bless
Talk to you guys
you.
soon.
Have a
Thank
beautiful
Bye.
you. God
day.
bless.